But I think that these films are really important. I think that we all have these dynamics in our families, you know, whether it's from relationships or whatever. And the wonderful thing about, and I talk about this a lot, the wonderful thing about independent film is you oftentimes write what you know. And it gives you the opportunity sometimes to be cathartic in what you're doing, and then sharing that with an audience is really important. So I'd love for you to say your film, and then we'll talk about your inspiration for making it. So why don't we start?
Great. How's it going, guys? I'm Cameron Taylor, the editor and producer of Harlem Fragments. Thank you guys all for coming out.
And if you know Harlem Fragments is our poster.
And we have a special guest with us today. We have a cast member who's actually my mom.
Come on up, Mom.
A Roxbury born and raised resident. So come on up, Mom.
I'm here to support Marvin Bynoe,
Wolf and Cub. All right, so I just want to ask a couple of questions before we throw it out to the audience. And really, one of the things that I was talking about before is what your inspiration was for making your films. So I want to start with Harlem.
Yeah, for Harlem Fragments, I'm born and raised Harlemite, currently guardian in Harlem. But for me, it's basically an autobiographical story. It takes inspiration from my own family and what we went through, and I wanted to tell it, you know, as my director will take you. I wanted to showcase it in a way that is, you know, different than films out there, and especially in a short film, you have to really kind of make a splash and impact. So I really wanted to make an Afrofuturist drama sci-fi, and then be able to, you know, tell that story in a span of 17 minutes, and still get full and intention. So it's a very dramatic art film because my mom plays with an illness, playing our grandmother, and we actually shot in the home we lost in my parents' divorce. So it's a very, you know, full circle film for me to pull off.
Thank you.
I would say, well,
Just speak a little bit louder, sorry.
I would say, for a while, like my family was very much about the relationship between the daughter and her father, but also like finances and how like I can play a role in family dynamics and like choosing kind of like how to handle the situation. And we did it for a class, so we had like a 6-minute cast, and we also weren't allowed to use dialogue, so it was kind of like we had to find ways to like get through that without like verbal speaking and things. So, but I kind of just wanted to make it about like a very real scenario about like kind of choosing like, you know, she had to steal something, which is something she wants to do. It's kind of like a battle of like trying to help my dad, but also he wants the time with her. So I just kind of wanted to like show like a real, obviously pretty short, but like a general scenario people go through for like finances can really like affect the dynamic and relationship between them.
Great job.
So this film was initially started by Marvin Bynoe. He went west to study animation, and he's originally from Boston. Me and Marvin went to West Westfield. Unfortunately, in the process of doing this film, Marvin passed away. So his team at the art school and his wife kind of collaborated together to continue the work that he started and finish the work in his name.
Did you guys get that from the beginning of Wolf and Cub? How that everyone at the end, everyone came together to get that film done. We really wanted to show that here. So what was so yours? Are you still students at BU? We're students at BU. Mass art. That's cool.
Well, I'm a full-time director.
Excellent. So we labeled this family dynamics. You talked a little bit about what that meant to you. I'm curious as to your thought process in in sort of coming to make these films, and what sort of like, as you were making them, and then as you're completing them, and then as you're seeing them on the screen, can you sort of take us through like how you feel about now having presented and having presented in this group?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll tell us what's going on in a second, but I just wanted to really showcase, in cinema, we haven't seen too much of all these kinds of Black stories of existence, of, the Black beauty within family memories. And so I really wanted to showcase this film through a scrapbook kind of storytelling, and be able to, dissect what is the, philosophical breakdown of what is the American dream, what is the Black American dream, what is the perfect Black family, and have those discussions on screen and have something that is very much, personal to myself, but something that can be universally applicable for people out there who have gone through certain experiences like this, who have gone through, family hardships, but also the ability for a 10 and 12-year-old to normalize just the act of processing something. As a child, there's a lot of child psychology there, and so I think that being able to normalize it, there is a lot of data that's on it, it's super important. How about you, Mom?
Well, it was a very therapeutic process for us as a family. Cameron and our daughter, it was a very difficult time. So for him to tell the story and translate it so that people could feel it and understand it was amazing for us all, because we all experienced it, and he shot it in the home that he grew up in, that we were in as a family. So it has been a real growing process for us, and we're, of course, extremely proud and happy for the storytelling, because it's a very vulnerable situation to put yourself in, to tell the story of the difficulties of the family broken apart.
I think that's really key. Yeah, thank you. Sharing that vulnerability, and I think that is a big part of it. That if the two of you can sort of talk about that as well, is this catharsis? Was there's this sense of catharsis of getting the story out and sharing with other people, and then realizing that other people have shared the same experiences. And as you said, we don't see these stories on the screen, right? We don't, as I always say, Black and brown people are not a monolith. We live and breathe in so many different spaces, but we don't get to see those spaces in mainstream media, right? And so being able to, take that in and then say that's a piece of me, I know that. It's really important, I think, for the audience, and I think it's important for you. So what about you all, as far as your films and the catharsis of making them, if it's so true?
I would say, I think when I was thinking about the idea, in my class, so just being, at BU, BWI is, I also want to make a point about, there are people, in the world have to make certain decisions that, can be looked down upon if you're looking at it, a more wide perspective, yeah, she's also making Harvard decisions, that's bad, this is bad, but it's when you look at certain people's situations, there are just some things that have to be done to, save your family, or, save someone you care about, or, try to take care of someone, even if it's not done the normal, way. I think that was also very important for me, and also just, health is a big thing in my family, and, my dad was in it, honestly, I care a lot about my dad, so it was also, it meant a lot to, have him in there, and also just, it's obviously a really sad, situation, but I think it's just, important to show, time with family, and show, just having to do what you gotta do, even if it's, maybe not something you want to do, but also something that, society would kind of critique you for, so I think it's also important to, have stories that are, okay, obviously there are movies where people do bad things, I think for this one, it was kind of if you put yourself in her shoes, yeah, but she's doing it with her parents, not, people could say it's wrong, but also, she's trying to help her father, trying to help her dad, she's no, most people, would, want to do that, so I think, that's what we were trying to get across. I don't remember what the different endings I had here, it wasn't always that he was going to end up, happily, but it's just, that's just kind of, and the process of making the film has very intimate as well. I mean, the crew was literally just us, and we journeyed to New York, just the two of us, to make the film in my dad's apartment, in Naja's dad's apartment. So it was literally just us in Naja's dad's apartment making this film in like 12 hours. So just, I think the perseverance to make that film, that story in that space, also tells just how important that story was for Naja's talent and for, us to just collaborate.
But also with Easter eggs, just like the next one, there are a lot of magic fans.
And what about Wolf?
I think Marvin had the skill of bringing people together. Even after he passed, everyone in his life wanted to come together to finish what he started. And it was all about laughter. It was always about making people laugh. It's really feel about them and love. And I think that's what, at least that's my interpretation of what I get from the whole experience of having the film be put together by his team and his family. Even this, like, we got an email who's going to show up, and like we showed up. We didn't question. It's just about coming together, spending time with the people who matter, and just enjoying the time.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much. It's really fills my heart to have you here to talk about your stories. So I want to open it up to the audience and see if anyone has any questions, thoughts.
They're talking next to the wall. I'm not shy about it.
Oh, they told you not to. They told you not to come up. He wants to be up. You come up here, Dad.
But my first time seeing what they do with the classes that they did, and it was jumped into hospital for the performance, explanation, and doing the stuff. And for a person outside, for those see what the students are putting into the film, I learned so much. Because I don't get to see this. They go to school, they do the thing, you pay for it, and you go to the garage, right?
Pay for it, you won't. Look, she's in a film festival.
Yeah. But it pulled me up. And if you have a teacher say, wait, I think I was so proud of what they accomplished. All of them. I was over here cheering for all the guys. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. You should like it. But it was so surreal to, I'm not an actor or anything like that, but to help them, I tried to, okay, how do I feel if I'm sick? It's my daughter. So I tried to put myself in that position. I was trying for real. Like, I was trying, like, oh my God. And then I was like, why she has to put a skill for me, because I don't have the money for a wedding. So it was a whole fun for me. I loved it. And I'm happy to be here, seeing how you guys work.
Oh my God, that is so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. That's what it's all about. Anyone else have any questions, thoughts, responses?
Yeah, a question for Cameron. In terms of like Afrofuturist influences, do you find that you like naturally gravitate towards sort of the superpower end of the spectrum, like a fast color, or like a See You Yesterday, where it's just using, I mean, obviously it has a sci-fi twist, but it's that we have around us in the world.
Yeah, thank you for that question. I really love that. For me, it pulls from all over. So I'm going back to, some Hayao Miyazaki, to Cowboy Bebop, to Boondocks, to, wanting to play with the manipulation of time and space as a storytelling device. So being able to, have the audience sit in TJ's cockpit as kind of, the undercurrent of the film is such a way to really immerse, these people uncovering these kind of like fragments of memories. And so for me, it's something that I think I resonate with. And so, that's because it's such an untapped realm of Afrofuturism that we haven't really seen on the screen. There's a lot of incredible literature and, graphic novels and such. I really try to push. And then I have, influences from The Shining to Interstellar to, Last Black Man in San Francisco. So I try to take all the things that I have adapted from, my own discography, but then making them into my own kind of arbitrary sounds. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, that's right. We're seeing so much of that now, which I love, is this marriage between the, graphic, using graphic and, sci-fi sort of, with that narrative, and I think it's incredible. We have an incredible organization here at Constant Color. If you guys don't know about it, they have a Constant Color Festival here. If you don't know about it, I connect you with Kagan, because I think that would be really good.
Yeah, that's great. And sorry, I spoke on that. Just the last thing, I grew up with my grandfather was an antique collector, and so he would always send me these Black Panther comic books from the 1960s. And so that's how Black Panther became my favorite superhero growing up. And I was always my love of filmmaking came from my dad showing me James Bond movies, Indiana Jones, and I was always looking for kind of who the Black James Bonds would be, who the Black Indiana Jones would be. And so I wanted to give this actor, one his first opportunity to lead, how he's incredible, talented kid on the forefront, but also give him his own Black Buzz Lightyear to see himself on screen. And then a big shout out to my animator, Mackleen, who really worked with me to accomplish that vision to keep the animation on par with the incredible live action performances.
Yeah, and that's incredible. The animation world is just beautiful. Question?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about the animation in Wolf and Cub. If you could just maybe talk about the process of the collage, so to speak, of animation.
So I wasn't part of that nonprofit, but I do know is that it was something they started, so we had notebooks with sketches and thoughts and stuff. The animating team that he was working with in the school are the ones who came together and he took his notes and his sketches and kind of brought it to life. I think there was 3, maybe 4 different animators that collaborated on this. I'm not completely sure. I got to see some of the sketches and the thoughts in his notebooks when he was talking about it, but I didn't really on the west side, so I couldn't read it.
And I love the way they edited that to really keep true to his story, that those were his sketches, and how he then incorporate that he wasn't able to complete or create a film around that with the voiceover and then just using these images. I think was incredible. All right, well, thank you all so much for your work, for your vulnerability, for sharing with us. We really appreciate it. And just good luck in all the other